How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast with the Buddy Fund. Today, I'm here with Pete Cerone, and to start things off, Pete, can you give us a little bit of an introduction of who you are and kind of what you do in the organization you're involved in?
Sure. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, Jamie. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the work of the Buddy Fund. So as Jamie said, my name is Pete Cerone. I am the Senior Director of Advancement with the Today and Tomorrow Educational Foundation, and I work with the Buddy Fund through some of our partner schools, specifically St. Louis Catholic Academy, which is in North St. Louis in the Penrose neighborhood, and St. Cecilia School and Academy, which is in South St. Louis near the Carondelet neighborhood.
So next, I want to ask you a little bit about what those organizations do for like the youth of the community in St. Louis. What kind of things do they do? Like, what opportunities do they present for the kids of the youth of St. Louis?
Absolutely. So Today and Tomorrow Educational Foundation is primarily a scholarship organization. We provide scholarships. We will provide scholarships to over 4,200 students next school year to the tune of over $10 million. We provide scholarships to 119 elementary schools, private faith-based elementary schools throughout the Archdiocese of St. Louis. Under that umbrella, we have partner schools. And as I mentioned, two of those partner schools are St. Louis Catholic Academy and St. Cecilia School and Academy. St. Cecilia is in South St. Louis Catholic is in North St. Louis. So, we serve different populations there, but really we serve the same type of population at both schools. In both schools, our students predominantly come from an underserved community. Unfortunately, in our area, there are not a lot of choices. Educational choices are very limited, depending on where you live. And we provide opportunities for students K through 8 to for educational choice, for families to have educational choice and to attend a faith-based Catholic elementary school in both of those, with both of those schools as being one of those choices.
So when you talk about the scholarships and the partners that you have with those schools, what has the Buddy Fund done to help that out, and how have these organizations worked together to provide those scholarships and to provide these kids an opportunity to go on and be something good in life? And so, how have these two organizations partnered together?
Sure. So with the Buddy Fund, I think that the Buddy Fund really does some wonderful, wonderful work here in our community, and they touch so many lives. So, just at the two schools that I'm working with, at St. Cecilia School and Academy, for example, there's 175 students. So when the Buddy Fund comes in and they make a donation of athletic equipment, they're touching 175 students this last school year. And frankly, it's not like that equipment lasts for a year. Many times it lasts many, many years. So, the lives that you're touching are multiplied by the enrollment at the school. It's the same at St. Louis Catholic Academy. There's about 185 students there. So just doing quick math there, you're doing, 360 students ballpark. Just at those schools this year, they will have at least that many, if not more. Enrollment's very strong at both of those schools, and interest is very strong because of the opportunities that kids have at those schools, and because of um, the outcomes that parent families are able to accomplish through the good work of our faculty and school leadership there.
So from a personal standpoint, how have these organizations kind of impacted your life? What made you want to get involved in something like this? What kind of drives you to keep doing it? And also, why is this an important organization for the community? I know I already asked that a little bit, but in your eyes personally, how has this kind of impacted who you are and how you go about life?
Sure. So lots of questions there. I'll try to answer them all,
All right.
Jamie. So I have been involved with Catholic schools and Catholic school fundraising for the past 20 years. Prior to working with the Today and Tomorrow Educational Foundation, I was the director of advancement at St. John Vianney High School in Kirkwood, Missouri. One of the most gratifying pieces of my work is when we are able to work with donors or investors in order to help a boy or a girl, a student in the St. Louis metropolitan area, get a scholarship to attend a school that they wouldn't be able to attend otherwise without the support of either that individual, that corporation, that business, that foundation. That really is one of the most gratifying things that I have seen in my work. I know that my education and the teachers who were part of my life throughout, especially my K through 12th grade, I really think that those are extremely formative years for an individual, were tremendously impactful on the person I am today. If I can be as bold enough to say that I'm a success, I think that those individuals played a huge role in the things that I'm able to do and where I am today. I would say that, when we are making an investment in St. Cecilia, or the students at St. Cecilia or at St. Louis Catholic, we're changing lives. We're changing the trajectory, of those boys and girls' lives. We're giving them a foundation that's really going to carry them as they matriculate to high school, as they roll into post-secondary, and as they when they're out there in our community, being good husbands, being good wives, investing themselves, investing in the community. It really is setting them up for a life of success. The Buddy Fund comes in and plays a huge role in that, because when they make a donation of athletic equipment to one of those schools, first of all, the donations that the Buddy Fund makes are very, very generous, and they're very widespread. I know I talked about that a minute ago, but that allows us to invest resources that we have in those schools in other areas, maybe for scholarships, maybe enabling additional students to attend one of those schools. This past year with the hybrid and the virtual learning, we put significant investments into our technology, the actual devices and the infrastructure in the school. We're able to redivert those resources into technology that the students use day in and day out. And again, that technology lasts 3 to 5 years. So it touches hundreds of students as well. We're able to invest money in our teachers, in professional development, and making them the best teachers that they can be, and so that they are able to impact the students that we serve to the best of their abilities. So, the Buddy Fund really, by making the donations that they do, it really opens up a ton of other opportunities for us to make investments in the students and in the families that we serve. And even just on a side note, athletics are a wonderful teaching tool as well. You learn how to not only to be a good sport, but to work hard. It's important to learn how to be a good winner. It's important to be learn how to lose, because in life there's a lot of life lessons that come through athletics as well. And so I think that's just another caveat of the far reach that the Buddy Fund has, in particular with the families and the students that we serve.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for all that great information. I have kind of one and two or one or two more questions for you. So the first one is, obviously there are quite a few challenges in life, and is something like this is a great way for kids, like you said, to get on the right path with sports. The sports side of things, they have a lot of things to learn. But obviously, with these challenges, and what I wanted to ask you is, you need help and from the community, because organizations like this rely on the community. So my question for you is, how can people looking into these organizations, how can they help out? And this has been a common theme for some of these episodes that I've had, but some people don't have the money to give to these organizations. So, what are
Sure.
some other ways that they can help out? Obviously, giving time, but what would your organizations benefit from the community?
Yeah, I think that there is, I think you hit the nail on the head. The past year plus 15 months since the pandemic, has been a challenge for a lot of individuals. So, people don't always have the financial resources to give. That does play a role in, I know, the work that you do with the Buddy Fund and the work that I do with these schools, because We want to enable help more and more people, more and more kids, especially, kind of the under the umbrella of the missions of our group. But, I think that there are volunteer opportunities. Service in the community is really tremendously impactful. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do a whole lot of that over the past year due to the pandemic. But right now, we are, reinvigorating our volunteer programs at both schools. There are opportunities where people can come in on a regular basis, such as, once a week, if there was a certain time or a certain day that people wanted to come in. There's tutoring opportunities, there's volunteer opportunities throughout the building, whether that would be, working in the library or working in our gym, assisting, teachers with, reading, writing, math needs that they may have with their students. We also do volunteer days, and we're looking at our calendar right now and looking at the needs that we have at the school, where we might bring in a large group of individuals to volunteer for a half a day, an 8 to noon type of thing, or maybe a full day, an 8 to 4 to and identify a large project that maybe 10 or 20 volunteers could complete. If people were interested in volunteering, they would be welcome to contact me. My email is Pete Cerone, my first name, last name, PETECERONE at archstl.org. They're also welcome to give me a call at 314-792-7732. But even beyond the volunteer opportunities, I think there are other opportunities that are very simple to do, that don't take a lot of time, that have a tremendous impact. Just sharing what people are learning on this podcast today, sharing a little bit about the Buddy Fund and the good work that the Buddy Fund does, and sharing a little bit about the schools, St. Louis Catholic Academy, St. Cecilia School Academy, and today and tomorrow. Just telling 1 or 2 people within their circle of influence and say, hey, I listened to this podcast, and here's a little bit about what I learned and some of the good work that these organizations are doing in our community, can be really impactful. Taking an opportunity just to learn a little bit more themselves. And another thing that we ask people to do is just to keep us in their thoughts and in their prayers, to pray for our mission, to pray for the students who are under our care, and to pray for our faculty and staff. That's can be tremendously impactful. I don't know of anyone in my life that doesn't need help and prayers from time to time. And that's always very appreciated. So, those can be small things in ways, but really have a large impact for people to do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate all the great thoughts that you have shared with us today, and I hope that this has influenced the viewers and the ones that are listening to help out in some way. Like you said, it doesn't take a lot just by sharing this podcast or going around and telling people about the different organizations that around the St. Louis community. It can play a big role. So I do want to thank you, and I'm looking forward to all the great things that both of our organizations can do together to help the community. So that's going to be it for us today on the podcast of the Buddy Fund. Thank you all for joining, and we'll be back with you guys next week.